hello, welcome to Spelljammer Gutter Stars. We should test it. Someone should quickly, in a minute, once this actually goes live on YouTube, should check if the sounds are working fine. But yeah, we have a problem that Alex has managed to burn his building down whilst live streaming, so we may or may not ever hear from him again. The fire alarm went off, muted himself, and said he'd be a while.
Sounds like guilt to me.
Yeah, there's some police sirens as well nearby.
He burnt it because he was scared his character was going to die this session.
Yeah, yeah, the kind of passive aggressive things people will do to avoid. It is like sometimes it's a bit like r/Reddit, or when you get sent a green text or something from TG or like whatever, just some insane story about. The guy murdered my entire family because he's worried that his character might die. And you're like, what? Well, surely this is. So no, here's the news article.
IDM shot my dog with a sawn-off shotgun. Is that in the rules, guys? Can I check? Is that okay as a house rule? Am I the aggressive?
I did once make a thread like that on r/D&D and had it deleted because they're like, you're not allowed to make parody posts here.
What, you think this is a fun place? Serious.
Yeah. By the way, on another note, I think they might as well just the subreddit r/RPGs or TTRPGs or whatever. Yeah. I think they should just rename it r/Pathfinder, having been there. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. I think you could sum up most subreddits on RPGs like that in some way, like about the one topic that people actually discuss, like r/D&D would be r/traumatic weird stories about sitting at a table with people pretending to play D&D, and RPG design would be r/ I think I've invented a brand new class system that no one's ever heard of before.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose good on them for trying to make a separate subreddit for the D&D horror story stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it exists. That RPG horror stories is a subreddit.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
One thing I also appreciate.
How many times have you
Alex posted it a lot. So, what was that, Jamie?
I was saying one thing I do actually appreciate is r/OSR banning the 5e why 5e is bad posts, because it's not a valid thing to talk about at times, but obviously it's kind of already even so still sometimes a problem with the subreddit is it's just unfortunate that it's where people go who often have tried that first and have become unsatisfied, so it can quite easily turn into a negative subreddit of people complaining.
Absolutely. Talk about what you love rather than what you hate. Unless the thing you hate is Alex. Hey, Alex, welcome back.
What about if the thing you love is Gnome?
I thought you loved to hate.
Khan? I love to hate, yeah. Mel's heart, I stab at thee.
We didn't think the whale was called Khan.
I know Captain Kirk is a whale. Didn't you know?
Oh.
That's a bit rude.
He put on some weight recently.
Like the microtransactions whale. Like he spends
money
on mobile games.
On skins for Helldivers too.
So he's actually a gacha games player.
Yeah.
So we are continuing fittingly on what I've subtitled as because I don't know what you're actually going to do. I can't always type stuff up ahead of time, so I try to set stuff up into mini-adventure names so people can track. Oh, this is when they did this. And we're now Star Trekking 2 Gremlins is the title, in which you throw water on stuff and it tries to kill you. What happened last time, Alex? Alan wasn't here, so he actually doesn't need to know.
There was a little man. That was the important thing. We went fishing. We got the fish. We did that real good. That might have been the session before. No, that was that session.
Yep.
I think
that was the last session, yeah.
Yeah. We got the fish. We did real work. We didn't get attacked by sharks or anything, which is good. We went on to this dwarven stronghold. It has a name like Hammer Rock or something like that. What's the name of this place?
It's Diamondhammer State, and this is one of their this is one of their citadels, because dwarven ships are great kind of forge ships where they're actually fueled by the creation of the dwarves. It's very beautiful and touching, but also smelling.
So is it like dwarves are made from like the sparks of Moradin's anvil, and this is like powered by sparks of dwarf's anvil?
Yes, that's pretty much
Just
it.
to tell you, Owen, that's going to be my Tinder bio.
What?
Smelly.
Like, yeah, touching but smelling, yeah. Touching and smelling. Yeah. Yeah, this is the Diamond Hold. This is one of their 2 citadels, which is where the king of the Diamondhammer clan lives, and which is where you've landed to sell your fish, which you have.
Yeah, we got exactly market rate. We didn't haggle at all. We weren't allowed to haggle. They looked like they'd shoot us if we even said the word.
Yeah.
And
dwarves are very literal-minded sometimes.
Yeah, we're like people from India going to Japan and trying to do business, and then just being like completely culture shocked. Yeah, essentially.
Then we decided we've got a wounded man who still needs like 4 days of bed rest before we can do anything. Why don't we see if there's any easy jobs we can do here, or rumours, or anything? So we spent a bit of time looking at that. Wilsp gets on quite well with dwarfs, being a tinker gnome, and did hear about this trouble with these little men stealing food and tools and stuff in the bowels of the citadel.
Yeah.
So we decided we'd at least look into that. I don't remember what the reward was. I don't think it was an incredible amount of money. It was like something like 100 gold or something.
I think it's 100 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Less than a London pint.
Well, he's going to have some kind of like Neon Genesis Evangelion style moment where he realizes he's been killing his own kind later on in this adventure. He's just
the little guys are all tinker gnomes.
Yeah.
If you watch Neon Genesis Evangelion, does that happen? Like,
something somewhat.
Spoilers.
I mean, I know.
Spoilers. This 27-year-old anime.
Hey, I never watched it at some point.
I watched all the shows, but like,
including the movie with the infamous scene.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, let's not talk about the thing in the hospital. But like,
we get demonetized enough on the Australian guys.
It'll kind of spoil it if I explain the similarity, I think.
Yeah.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
Anime.
Yeah.
I'd got that far.
Not the Muslim kind.
That's as far as you need to go.
Do you say not the Muslim kind?
Not the place.
Yeah.
Muslim
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah, let's move on. So as little men, I decide the first day.
This is way better.
The first day, I think a few of us just loitered around the bowels just to see if we could see anything. We did. So the second day, I bought some bait. I bought a toolbox and just left it lying around. And I looked in the shadows nearby, and a little man stole it and then ran away and climbed into a vent. And the little man did not look like a kobold or a goblin or a gnome or anything really that I recognised, but some kind of little man. Not really, like vaguely humanoid, but I don't think it was actually really humanoid. Some
I think
kind
it
of
looked like harmless astronaut.
It did not look like an innocent man.
No,
Very
It
sus.
stole my lunchbox.
we're just innocent men.
We're just innocent men.
Poor Beach, she doesn't understand these references. Beach, you understand this reference?
Like this, guys.
We've got like 4 jokes, and we just keep repeating them.
Yeah.
Welcome to comedy.
For British comedy in particular.
Repetition makes it funnier.
The deal with airplane food.
Whereas the dwarves have forged jokes.
Yeah. So yes, you're on the citadel, and you can see this big citadel that we're riding on Roll20, and I guess Wilsp has returned to friends.
Yes,
Because you chose not to pursue. Like that's where we left it. I was like, do you pursue? And you decided to go back into that hole.
I very quickly said no.
Yeah, pretty much. So yes, yeah, down in the kind of pipe work and some of the work, like in the storage and working areas, you've seen something in the dark. It had like its own like little small light source actually. Yeah, and it has it fled, having not come, obviously having maybe seen you or something. And yeah, this is presumably something to do with what's happening, maybe. So what do you want to do?
Well, I think first things first, we try and talk to somebody about these vents and see if we can get some information about them. How dangerous they are, how big they are.
Do they have a map?
Maybe, find blueprints or something for them.
Yeah, I mean I guess like you'll be pointed to a clerk of works because the head of the guard that can't actually just hang around talking all day about pipes. But yeah, they don't have a map of the pipes necessarily, in the sense that it's not actually being planned systematically. Like this isn't this isn't an American city in the 19th century being planned on a grid or anything. They keep hollowing out the asteroid, building more stuff. So in that sense, it's a little bit kind of ad hoc.
Khrushchev would not stand for this.
You'd think if anyone dwarves would plan a city pretty well.
Well, I think that it's probably they more instinctively know how to expand the mine. Like, think of it as like this is a mine. It's a gigantic flying mine, and that means that they're good at planning that. But it's not like you don't plan the mine all at once. You expand it as you find seams of things and as you kind of need extra space.
And then once you run out of minerals, you can turn it into a warehouse.
Yeah. Eventually, this is actually the dwarven citadels get abandoned and are occasionally just seen floating with like nothing on. They've been fully evacuated just because they're completely played out, like they're just empty, hollow.
Like me.
But yeah, indeed. So boom. So yes, you will be able to ascertain kind of the rough area in terms of where there are vents and pipe work, but basically moving gases. So the actual pipes are quite hot, hotter than most species could stand reasonably a lot of the time, not constantly, but in terms of the vent work and those spaces, it's quite cramped in amongst the pipes and the pipe work in the bottom of the citadel. But dwarves can climb in amongst them to maintain them. They might be a squeeze safe for a GIF. It'd be less comfortable. Certainly, he could provide you some sort of very rough sketch of, based on the most recent filings of how things look and are connected, without necessarily being a complete plan.
Is there an orphanage somewhere in this city?
I don't know if the population would support an orphanage.
Oh, okay. I feel like it would be a good idea to go to an orphanage and then just get all the kids there and pay them a pittance to just all crawl through the vents, disperse out, and collect news for us.
Can we get a tracker and look down and it goes beep 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 as they move through the
Do flamethrowers for sale?
Yes, can we get the kids flamethrowers?
Was this in Aliens, yeah.
Yeah, is there a dwarf child named Salamander or something?
Yeah. Who you can adopt?
Yeah.
Wilsp. Yeah.
But
no, any orphans will be looked after by the king directly, or by their clan. If they
the
have
king
one on there.
himself, he's just got room for more.
Yeah. He's
Always an orphan.
He's a daddy Warbucks figure.
Yeah, like the Tsar, the little father.
Yeah. But yeah, as in, the population is like less than 2,000. So.
We should plan for fighting in cramped spaces then. Like, I imagine I'll be fine. And is Dr. Jones small? I can't remember if I should know.
I'm medium, and I think I'm still out at the moment, so
Oh, yes, you
I could always just buy a few of those orphans and glue knives to their hands, though.
are you a tall medium or are you a long medium? Because like you're like Spider-Man, aren't you?
Excuse me.
I'm a bug person.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
but like Jabba the Hutt is a large creature, but he's not.
I'm 5'11".
10 foot tall.
That's a bit rude,
So
Alex.
I'm human-sized,
Right, you're.
and I weigh 164 lbs and don't know what that is in sensible measurements.
Probably pounds.
That's what lerb means.
LBS, lbs. What else would it mean?
That's close to what I weigh, I think. Maybe a little bit less than I weigh.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's
164.
about an Alex tall. It has a similar diet to you. Like, you know...
It's light welterweight in boxing weight.
Wait, sorry,
Yeah.
Would be middle
what species were you again? Sorry.
64, yeah.
Giant bug person.
Is
So
that what the
regular
official
size
Spelljammer name is?
Xixchil. Pronunciation may vary.
Sideshow.
Nigel.
Careful.
According to fandom, it's Xixchil is the pronunciation, I guess. If you
You learn something new every day.
So they look kind of like the Dark Sun thingies, I guess.
No,
But like
Fry
green.
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Although
a
I
bit
guess
like
they're
Strike
in
Queen.
full Dark Sun, weren't
Strike
they?
Queen are also in space. Strike Queen in space. Yeah. So, Andrew, you could. It's on the Discord. You could. I mean, if you want, Jackson, it will come and have a adventure round if you want him to.
Get what on the Discord? I'll have a look.
Yeah, he'll be on Spelljammer characters.
Ah, yes, I see.
Yeah, Jackson,
Yeah.
who really doesn't need us.
Yeah, Jackson, who's a better character than the rest of you. I actually only generated stats the other day, which you would have seen. So hence he's got 1897 strength.
So that's twice now you've generated like just random characters for us, and they've ended up being like
Yeah.
with supernatural strength. Or whatever it's called.
I just want to say the names of things in Spelljammer are just awful. Like, how I'm sure the setting itself is nice, but like, who came up with the names for these things? They're just like they're either really goofy, they sound awful, they're really stupid, or they're just like hopelessly weird.
This is Xeethra saying it in character, by the way. Yeah.
Xeethra's like,
he's
why are we talking
he's
about
walking around the
bro? This feels
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. Are you taking the piss out of me?
What's wrong with the name
Yeah.
Lizard Man for a race of like humanoids?
Well, exactly.
What's wrong with the name
boring.
sort of
Xixchil's
fleshy
too
man
weird.
for humans?
And Throw and Pish is just silly.
I think it is inherently a pretty silly setting, though.
That's true.
Like I think
It's for people with blunderbusses in
Silly
space.
play.
yeah, like it's more Flash Gordon than Star Trek.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm just taking it too
embarrassing.
seriously.
Yeah,
This is not the gritty dark setting.
just make your next
Yeah.
character. Pretend Brian Blessed is playing your next character, and
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
Look, you've
Yeah.
got a far lower
Playing
body.
all our characters.
The party has a far lower body count than in the dark setting we played for a year. So look on the
If I
bright
could
side.
do a Brian Blessed impression, that would be the Mage's voice already.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
from now on, my character is basically just going to be Willem Dafoe in space, so
Yeah.
we'll deal with that then, guys.
Just imagine Green Goblin. Except he hates goblins because he's an elf.
Yeah, but he's still got like the pointy ears and stuff, and the schizophrenia, so
Yeah, exactly.
we'll just need him.
What would I cast? Gilbert Gottfried.
Rip.
Anyway, yeah, fighting in cramped enclosures. I don't know what the rules are for that. I know that there are rules for that. I feel like it's similar to fighting underwater in that piercing weapons, stabbing motions would be easier than swinging a massive sword.
Yeah. I know in 1E you got the list of room to wield stuff. I don't know if there's an equivalent of that in 2E.
Well, for weapon lengths, we just use the first edition weapon lengths when it's relevant. So.
Yeah, because I do think it's nice to have some give spears some love when they're kind of a situational thing, aren't they? Definitely situations where they far excel having a sword in a way.
Yeah. I think Jackson will probably. You say that Jackson will probably use his short sword. I would have thought that he does have an all pike, but in terms of length, probably a short sword is piercing. So.
Probably a better idea than a pike for tunnels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
short sword is piercing.
Anybody got a crossbow? So it's also probably feel like it'd be useful, even in cramped enclosures, or a bow.
I can only shoot ballistas, not crossbows.
Yeah.
Can you get the ballista off the ship and bring it down here?
Yeah. Because typically the longbow's about the height of a man, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah. I guess pick any other weapon.
There are situations in which a short bow is actually better, man. So
shorter pull.
Yeah. Apparently there are some cases where some short bows can actually genuinely fire further than long bows, and there's I don't know how it works in ranges and the rules, but in real life.
Depends on the bow.
Yeah.
Andrew is our archery expert here, actually. Our archery and amphibian expert. So when you see newts firing bows at people in the coming revolution.
I choose not to play ranges, but it would feel too similar to real life, you know?
Yeah. So what are you arming up with? What's your plan?
So does anybody need a piercing weapon, or does everybody have something like a dagger or a short sword or a spear? Because I have spare daggers, but I can also just buy some spears.
Yeah, I've got a dagger. Yeah, getting spears might be good. I suppose this is the kind of thing with weapon proficiencies, isn't it? It's like the thing is, it ends up being the case that pretty much everyone who's playing a fighter is gonna take longsword and bow, because of how the magic weapons work and stuff. So, yeah, it doesn't feel worth it for you wielding a spear.
The best magic weapon in our Dagford game. The best magic weapon in the Dagford game is an axe. So depends, doesn't it?
But when you think of the combination of magic longswords you can get versus specifically, for example, it is quite
I only have a saber, which is not great for stabbing people with. Oh, scimitar, sorry.
Yeah, those are not.
Yeah, in fact, that's pretty worse than a longsword.
So I could probably do with a dagger, but I don't tend to fight.
Or you could buy a spear.
Lend me a dagger. I don't tend to really fight in this one anyway.
Unless you have a horse and some Christians to fight, it's not the best weapon for this situation.
In fact, I have enough I can lend you two, so you can throw one.
Alright, I've got 2 daggers per session. Cool.
I was going to say, Thumb is a fighter. Surely he does fight in this game.
Yeah, but he doesn't like cramped spaces.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone except Wilsp is going to enjoy this quest.
Yes, but you might tolerate it.
Yeah.
This is just like playing games with Alex in general.
I guess Wilsp is probably going to be leading away from most of this, given I can scout ahead to some extent and can see in the dark.
Everyone apart from Jackson has infra, doesn't he? Don't they? Because Villa's a half elf, and Xixchil somewhere else.
I do have an idea though. Actually, for an event, we could get an equivalent of a skateboard and tie a rope to it, and then for the person going through on their own scouting head, if they encounter something that attacks them and they need to retreat but it's too cramped, we just pull the rope to pull them back on the skateboard.
I mean, I don't know about
I feel like orphan sounds more sensible.
Yeah, at least the rope side of that does make sense.
Jamie's like, man, this setting is so goofy. This is such a goofy setting. I just can't take it seriously. I don't know why anyone would take it off. Anyway, by the way, let's get a skateboard and put people on it with a rope around them and put them down a vent.
Okay, skateboard, but imagine it's spelled in some kind of like old-timey medieval way with like a S-A-A-E.
Yeah.
T-E-E.
It's a skateboard. It's made out of fish. Sorry.
Yeah. Fish, yeah. A fish board, yeah.
Why can't we just set a load of bear traps with fish on them or something? Or lunch boxes. Buy lots of lunch boxes and just put them inside of like traditional bear traps.
Are you saying that buying a skateboard is too much of an inconvenience?
Well, it means we don't have to go down.
Killing orphans.
Don't have to go down all the vents. If
That's
we just
a good plan. What we should do: get another toolbox, put a small hole in it, and then fill it with paint or rice or something that will slowly spill out, and then leave it so it gets stolen again, and then there's a trail to follow.
That's a good plan. That's a good plan. Let's do that. I'm not a big fan of like they just slowly explore the vent until we find somebody strategy.
Yeah, you've seen that movie, haven't you, Dan? Simon?
Yeah. I want to be the person holding the bleep and not the person who is the bleep.
I mean, I've seen that documentary about the cave incident that got someone killed. That makes
You're going to be way more specific, but yeah.
It's the famous, it's the famous one in America where someone was crawling through a really, really narrow.
Yeah. I know the one you mean, and
wasn't it like 2 guys or something?
Yeah, and he basically like went downwards into what he thought would be somewhere he could turn around, and then he just got stuck upside down and eventually died.
Yep.
So,
if he had a skateboard with a rope attached to it,
Be alive today.
Yeah, not enough people do this when they're spelunking, do they?
So, does somebody have rope?
The situation. Yeah.
Does someone have rope? Alex asks.
Yes, I have 50 feet of hempen rope. Please don't censor us, YouTube.
Yeah. I don't think they're censoring us for that.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Go
Do you need
buy
any other
another
equipment?
toolbox. Another toolbox and paint. Specifically, I think some kind of paint or something that won't be very visible under infravision, so that they don't notice it spilling out the trail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose the issue of paint is it might come out too fast compared to the thing with the grains. I suppose maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess, present this idea to a shopkeeper and see what they say.
Yeah.
The shopkeeper's like, so you're trying to trap vermin using a steadily dripping stream of paint. It's not my area of expertise, I'll be honest.
So we figure out where their nest is and we can eradicate them entirely.
Yeah.
You know, like, surely there's something that springs to mind as a wise man such as yourself.
But I think it's probably just about how big the hole is that you make. That's what controls flow in liquids. Or one of the two things, and the other is pressure. But there's not really any pressure if it's just a bunch of paint inside of toolbar.
You're making me think about fluid dynamics again.
That bad.
It's not bad, but it's not great.
Time to do some homework.
I preferred quantum.
Yeah, we want 1 mil. We want a ½ mil hole in the box.
Yeah, you can probably almost only get. There'll be like hand drills and stuff that you could comfortably make one of those with. Yeah. So yeah, and then you're going to go down back into the vents and pipes and fill it up with paint. I'll bill you afterwards, as in we need to. It'll only be like a couple of gold for the other one, so probably you're spending like 10 gold on all your various hijinks. Yeah. And you're not buying any more weapons because you've given people daggers.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Is Vil happy with what he's armed with, Beach? If you are, not happy.
Yeah, I'm armed with a dog.
Oh yeah, he's got something useful. He's got something that can actually help.
Dogs can't see in the dark. What kind of dog is it? It's not like a chihuahua or some kind of ratting dog, Is it?
No, it is a war dog. It is a normal, trained fighting dog.
That's trained to fight men, not rats, vermin, whatever.
They're just innocent men.
Well, I have a dagger, but I'm going to be very ineffective with it.
Yeah. I was going to say you have spells. Is that literally what your job is to have spells, isn't it? So
Yeah, that's why I have sleep as well. So don't worry.
Yeah.
I've got something.
great.
I think.
Cool,
I guess we're
okay.
ready then.
Cool. So yeah, you'll do that, and then are you just going to leave the area and return to it sometime later, or?
I think same thing as before. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Probably not in the literal same place, but somewhere very similar, perhaps nearby, and I'm going to keep an eye on it. Same as before.
And so, what's your hide and shadows?
Hide and shadows. 25.
Yep. Yep. Great. Yeah, again, Wilsp, you'll see a creature, kind of sometimes bipedal, sometimes quadrupedal, a few feet tall. Check the height, 'cause it may actually be slightly bigger than you. I think you should fight it. It's smaller than you. It's like 2 feet tall.
Okay.
Where it slips forward through the pipes to the junction or whatever you've chosen, and again, like has in its hand, you occasionally see just a glint of light from its hand, kind of illuminates, and it looks around. You see its eyes kind of reflect a bit like a Galago's, like a bush baby's, big lenses, and it looks round, is putting its hand forward and grabs the toolbox, but again looks at you and then turns around and runs once it spots you in the corner.
Runs with the box, or?
Yes, as in kind of, yeah.
That is fine. That is fine. I'll keep an eye on which way it goes, so. Once I have a rough idea of what vent it's gone to, I'll go to the others, and I guess we'll head in.
Yeah.
Oh, well, actually,
Yep.
I presume when we went to ask about maps of events, we also asked permission to scrounge around the site.
Yeah.
In case that wasn't like.
That will be with the vermin extermination contract you already signed, that you're allowed to go down, as long as you don't damage stuff or steal stuff.
Cover it in paint.
But yeah, in terms of vents, obviously we're actually talking about like tunnels that have pipe work running through them. We're not talking about like metal vents.
It's not Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to get to the top of the citadel and throw Alan Rickman off it. You have to kill Severus Snape. So no, it's not like that. It is more like tunnels which are being used as vents to run the pipe work through, and sometimes there are other things. Most of them aren't lit, of course. So Jackson is a bit like, I might need someone to hold my hand, I guess. Dog will also.
Since I'm planning on scouting ahead, somebody else could have a torch there. And we know they use lights, so they might not have it for vision.
That's a good point.
If you have what? Is it? Do you have any? Yeah, you've got torches potentially. I don't know if you've got any magic daggers or swords which usually pass light.
I have this Showed Tanto.
Hmm.
Which we don't know what it does, but what you
it would. Yeah, that will shed light on command.
Oh, brilliant.
If you test it now. Yeah.
Um,
You don't know what else it does now.
no.
Because you've never done anything with it, no. Great.
I mean, I could
Yeah.
give one of you guys this so you have a source of light, or you could just use a torch. Yeah, I think I'd rather hold on to this.
Hey guys, does someone want to borrow it? You're not allowed.
Yeah, you can just use a torch, you can't have my magic dagger. Yeah, and then I guess.
So who's carrying a torch in the main group then for the dog and Jackson?
I mean, if Jackson's only got a short sword and no shield, he may as well carry his own torch.
Mm-hmm. I don't actually know if he's equipped with it. I think he can carry a shield. I think he does have one. I will look at it actually. I mean, it's under characters.
He does have a shield. Medium shield.
Ah, yes, he does have a shield. In that case, somebody else can carry a torch for him.
I mean, Beach would say how Vil would do nothing, so might as well. The torch, right?
I can, yeah. I just have a dagger in one hand, so I can.
A dagger in one
Hold
hand,
it.
a torch
Yeah,
in the other. And make sure you have a burlap sack on your person for filling with either vermin or meat.
Oh well, I'm pretty weak, so I can only carry one vermin.
We're using a slot system in this game, where rated by how many vermin you can carry.
I'll use my third arm to carry my material component.
Yeah. I think it sounds like you're dropping your dagger if you want to cast sleep.
I probably actually would just not have my dagger out at first.
Yeah. I guess if you're in the middle, in terms of
inventory, actually.
Yeah. What's
they come in
the?
different shapes.
Sorry, Jamie.
They come in different shapes.
Yeah. No, we do use lubs in this game, don't we? As Andrew said. What's our march order then? Wilsp is ahead with a gap. Single file probably. You'll get.
Well, in case we get charged from the back.
Thumbs like I'll just stay at the inn.
Yeah, I'll just hit the pub.
To go second.
Yeah.
We should probably be very. Let's put them. It might be sensible to put Jackson somewhere in the middle, a bit more protected, because he is our only ride home.
Yes.
This is a danger of you bringing the guy who's basically an artifact in himself, unless you can get his granddad to fly out here.
Xeethra imagines being stranded on a dwarven settlement and almost has a heart attack.
Yeah, and he turns to Jackson. I will fight you to the death.
Yeah.
What about? Where's the dog? That I've got that so far. Wilsp, Gap, Xeethra, Jackson, Vil, Thumb. Where's the doggo? Next to Vil?
Yeah, the dog will go in front of me. Like I will be guiding the dog.
Yeah, great. So your light is going to go as far as Xeethra. Xeethra, if you want to use anything, you can literally step 1 square forward equivalent. I don't like that. But yes. Yeah. Because of where Vil's light will go, what, 15 feet or is it 20? 20, 15, 20? I've got my handy chart as the light that you're shedding. Okay, table 63 with modifications. A torch is 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 foot. Yeah.
Lasts for 30 minutes.
Modified to 60. 60 is the standard length. So yeah. Did see? I think I posted that interesting post about a guy talking about making them weigh 2 pounds and last half an hour, being very good at making people take tons of waters and hints. Because you have to deal with the economics of how crap your light is, basically. But yeah, we're not quite that harsh. It is an hour, and it is great. So yeah, you'll be able to find the paint. I mean, but possibly. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if there'd be any difference in terms of phosphorescence. I guess, possibly if there's any phosphorescent component, you wouldn't show you for that to be the paint based on your front and back, so it doesn't show up in the dark too much under info or whatever else. But yeah, so you'll follow the paint for some time, and you will probably you'll hear a chittering and a chattering, and the occasional word. Wilsp, you're presumably running ahead at the moment, aren't you? You're moving silently, which I'll check for. What's your move silently, Wilsp? 55. You will go ranging ahead with everyone else. I guess you don't have to do the elf thing of 90 feet, the bonus surprise, so I guess 30 feet or something, 60 feet behind you. How far do you want people behind you?
How fast can they move in these levels? like I imagine there's some penalty.
Probably the larger people, which is most of them. The dog will be able to move full, but everyone else, apart from you, is probably moving at half, aren't they? So if they are 9, they're moving at 4.5.
I guess I'd want them close enough they could get to me within 2 rounds. Oh, I guess I got the rope actually. So if I was using the rope, so it'd be maximum of 50 foot. So yeah, since we're doing that.
Maximum 40 feet, presumably.
Yeah.
Because if you're roped on and someone is holding it, presumably you're asking Xeethra to hold it. Xeethra, bear in mind, you are not currently holding weapons if you're holding a rope. You can obviously drop the rope and draw.
Which is what you will do as soon as it's dropped.
Yeah. What will happen is you'll drop the rope and turn around and leave.
Yeah. Is the rope something
Farewell,
I
then, Wilsp.
carry in my backpack or tied to it, or?
You could probably tie it around your waist or something. Obviously, that might be a bit less convenient than just holding it. As I'm thinking, in terms of Wilsp pulling at your waist. Every time Wilsp, you'd have to move in perfect harmony. If you are holding one end of a rope and Wilsp is tied to the other.
No,
I'll have a load of slack.
Yeah, I guess if we have a fight, we'll just drop the rope, probably. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so yeah, you'll be presumably about 40 feet away then, or probably literally just over. But in terms of allowing slack either end, and yeah, you will hear a chattering, which I guess you probably don't necessarily recognise, but you'll hear occasionally just a word of Dwarvish, but in a weird chattering voice. Wilson.
Okay, so is definitely language and not just animalistic noises. That's good.
Well, as in, it seems to be that element seems to be, yes.
Or it's dogs who's just occasionally just say like bacon.
Wall sausages.
Squirrel. Fetch.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Yeah. Pish. Yeah. So yeah. This is probably going to be. I'm trying to think. Let's say about round a corner. At least some feet away. It's not an visible sight. You're hearing this before you see it.
Yeah. Can I tell roughly how many?
Several voices.
Just several. I can't tell more beyond that.
I can.
I mean, I don't know if it'd be obvious necessarily to you.
Yeah. I think.
How you count them? You know, you don't know what this is.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I'm willing to risk peeking my head around the corner, see how many I can.
Yeah. Yeah, so you look and you will be essentially very briefly flash blinded by a dull red glow on the wall in a where a cavern seems to come off. Like you kind of look around as the pipes come away, and you can see that like suddenly there's a bit of a flash of. You realise it's quite a dull red glow, and there are a number of small creatures. I will. Is it? What's the? How do we handle this? How do I make it big? But yeah, I can just increase the size of that panel. But yeah, you'll see that there are probably a dozen or so of these kinds of creatures here. They've got, with the slight light, you can see that they have almost like a raccoon-like snout and glasses, as it were, or whatever, like a burglar's mask across their eyes.
Are they also wearing black and white stripy shirts with a big sack on their backs?
I'd like to say swiper, no swiping.
Yeah.
All right.
But no, they're not wearing shirts. They're not dressed. You see that because the tunnel here is lowish. It's probably actually fine for Wilsp. Like you can just do a tiny duck and then get along. And he's kind of peeking down here. Others might struggle a bit more. But you can see that they've got a bunch of stuff around the walls. There's nest material. There are some small ones. You'll see. One thing you'll see is that there are a bunch of what look like shells of mesh or chain. There's like several of those.
We should probably find out if these are like people before we rush in guns blazing.
Well, they can talk, but they're also thieves that we've been paid to kill.
I mean, maybe they're dwarves who just haven't shaved in a while. Like, maybe dwarves just have like hair everywhere, and then they just shave like the bits where it would make them look more human.
I feel like you're the one who's added kill specifically in there, rather than just prevent from stealing.
Permanently.
It's just be easy.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone feels bold enough to try negotiating,
Well, could you please keep feeding insatiable feeding monsters?
That's your negotiation tactic. Just stop being.
Stop it.
Guys,
Stop.
please, can you just stop nicking shit? Guys, please.
Renounce your criminal
Mate.
ways.
Go on.
Mate.
Be laid off.
It's really
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Wilsp, you haven't told everyone else. You obviously may return if you desire.
How many do I see? Like, you say several, but...
About a dozen. About a dozen. Most of them are smaller than the one you saw. Counting very small ones, yeah. There's very small ones, smallish ones, and a couple of bigger ones.
Are they about like 5 foot tallish, or like?
They are between the largest one's about 2 feet tall.
Oh right, okay.
And
the medium-sized ones are about 18 inches.
And are there any other exits to the nest area?
Not that you can see, though you don't have very good view because you are looking along a tunnel into a larger, like a low tunnel into a larger cavern. So think about your ceiling.
Yeah.
Your perspective is limited.
Yeah, so I'll go back and tell the others. And
Yeah.
see if anyone feels bold enough to try and negotiate.
I shall be the negotiator, says Xeethra.
Are you sure? Because we could just go in there and kill them. Like, I could maybe get 1 or 2 of them before they even notice me.
What's wrong
That's the
with you?
thing, to be honest. It seems kind of wrong. I mean, to be fair, since Xeethra dodged the draft, technically that means he can't commit to war crime because he's not a soldier. Right? Right, guys? Right?
Yeah, I imagine. I think Andrew's just highlighted it already, but I suspect Jackson would be like, "So war crimes? What?"
Like, I don't really know how to respond to that logic. Like, things can be bad. Like, things that aren't war crimes can still be really bad.
They can just be called crimes.
Like,
They're
Yes.
they're just crimes.
like it's
Crime
not,
crimes.
Geneva has nothing to say about lichdom, but that's still awful. Like,
Yeah, imagine someone being like, "Look, the Geneva Convention doesn't cover people who are already dead and have come back via a dark deal with the forces of negative energy."
Just
I
to
mean, it also doesn't include just stabbing some guy that you're not at war with. It's very limited.
yeah, but
To
that's not a
sum up-
regular crime. It's not as bad as war crime.
What's that, Beach?
yeah, I just wanted you're telling us that you saw a certain number of them and they're sort of like bunched together.
Around a dozen. It looks like a family or something. Most of them fairly fairly young.
All right.
Looks like a family.
We can go try and talk to them, and I will have my hand in my pouch on the sand. And if something looks off, I'll put as many of them to sleep as possible right away, and this should give us a huge advantage if they try and attack.
So make a illusion. So what do you think would be the most terrifying thing to a creature that lives in an event so that Dwarven sits down?
A giant walking toolbox.
Sunshine.
I don't think an illusion of the sun.
Grass, sports, women.
Well, wait. Well, let's not use your illusion yet.
Well, I've got 2 uses of it because I didn't prepare armor.
How many exits are there out of the place which they're in?
If I end up putting a ton of them to sleep, we might not even need it. But if you do need it, can you make illusions of people, of creatures?
Yeah, I can make an illusion of anything up to a certain size.
Then you could just make
this is Phantasmal Force, right?
Yeah.
You can make an illusion of like a company of heavily armored dwarves as if they're being attacked from another side. You know, that would be pretty scary. Like they've been found by the authorities.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
Like I said.
I mean, the idea I had only makes sense if we're just killing, which would be to use an illusion to make a distraction, so they look the other way, then I enter and stab one of them in the back.
The thing is, it's
I would like to
get them to stop if we can't talk to them. It also feels wrong to just kill them. And even if we were to like arrest them, I don't really know where we're going to put them, since we're just kind of on an asteroid that's slowly being destroyed by dwarves who don't care about the environment and just kind of parasitize each thing they come across and then move on.
Bound to do it.
Unless they have like a zoo or something.
Xeethra is that elf, by the way.
I mean,
We could like.
See, we grow our ships. Our ships are sustainable. What do dwarves do?
Is this iron ore sustainably sourced? Did you know my steel armor is actually thrifted?
Yeah. Yeah. I've upcycled it out of 17 teapots that I bought from starving orphans.
Chainmail is so expensive nowadays since thrifting has become trendy, guys. Can't believe it's so gentrified.
Yeah.
And that awful trend of having rust monsters as pets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, deliberately, I released the rust monster onto my armor so that it could look more Y2K grunge, actually, guys. So.
Yeah. And that actually happened in our session on Sunday. Not a rust monster, but you do have some Y2K grunge armor with your character in that. Yeah.
So,
no, this is why everyone really supports the Scroll, by the way, is that space elves are even lamer than ground elves.
I would support them if they had a slightly more glamorous name than sounding like something that would get us censored.
Yeah, maybe that's what's getting us demonetized, guys. Well, especially because we have a character called Tom. It's the Scroll, Tom. Yeah, great. So is it Xeethra and Vil are going ahead to negotiate? Well, apparently Wilsp just keeps saying, no, my plan only works if we kill them all.
I mean, I just want to make the point that we were hired to exterminate vermin. If we bring them back and say we think they're sentient, what are the dwarves going to do?
Make
The
friends
dwarves
with them?
won't care, they'll definitely kill them.
No,
Why
but
don't-
if we the elves explain to them how they should act, they'll listen to us because we're elves. And,
Yeah.
you know,
If we
that's-
explain to them a superior way of life.
They'll simply listen to us and think, wow, elves are just so much cooler and more
Their
intelligent.
wisdom is just so
Yeah.
great.
What if we take them back to the Rock of Brawl with us? Just work release or something.
We're not going back to the rock and roll yet.
we also don't have a
Very well.
room. Can we stuff them in the hold?
Do we have enough room?
Should we take them back and feed them to the giant hamster?
I hope it's big enough because I don't want it to end up being like some kind of transatlantic slave ship.
Maybe we should find out if they are actually capable of conversation.
Should we just give it a go and then I can laugh at you when they either run away or try and bite your face?
Yeah, let's do that.
That's the deal.
Yeah, that's
Can we-
enough dilly-dallying with
We heard them speak Dwarven. Who speaks Dwarven?
None of us.
I speak Common, Elven, and Scrow. So I'm not going to be helpful, I don't think.
Do they have an obvious leader that we can like take hostage?
Well, like I said, if we want to, would not kill them. I could just put a mass of them to sleep.
Just put them all to sleep. Put them all to sleep, and let's just go and pick up the ones that we get, and then take them back home. And keep those pets.
Yeah.
Well, if you aim it on the big ones, and we see if the small ones want to fight, and then we can...
Yeah. We might be able to just pick the children up. Yeah.
Does anybody have a burlap sack?
Stuff.
Alex, what's your experience of putting what?
It's just traditional adventuring equipment, right? We don't have a magic bag yet, so burlap sack.
It's not
I just need to be clear for anyone watching that you do not gain XP for slaves in this game. Dark Sun is probably more debatable. Your XP does not apply to humans and other sentients.
Just want to make sure we are absolutely certain the dwarves specified that we had to exterminate them, not that we had to stop the thefts from happening.
Right. If there's rats chewing holes in your walls and you hire an exterminator, do you say, I want you to make sure no more holes are chewed in my walls? Or do you say,
There's
I want
probably-
you to exterminate the vermin?
There probably is vegan rat control out there.
I mean, if they're called exterminate, I don't think you really need to specify either one particularly. You probably just say, I have rats.
If you ring up an exterminator, yeah.
Non-lethal
But,
rat traps exist, Alex.
What?
Like-
Alex, you've been caught in them before.
Like, you can get, like, non-lethal rat traps. You just it just catches them in them and then you just chuck them right outside or whatever.
And they come straight back in.
I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah, pretty
literally
much.
a crime.
What, chucking a rat through the air?
Yeah.
Like using a catapult to fire a rat into your neighbour's garden? Yes, it is.
Yeah. Only if you sneak them into your neighbor's house. You let them go
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty-
Yes, Andrew.
Like, it's literally a crime to do that kind of stuff with vermin. Like,
Yeah. But what counts as vermin in that case? Because, like,
Only in Australia.
if you get a mouse in your house and you put it outside, does it count as a crime?
uh,
What about rabbits?
I mean-
Because some people say that rabbits count as vermin because they eat,
Yeah.
because they eat like plants or something.
Or crows.
I imagine vermin. Maybe not. Okay, apparently vermin has no legal meaning in the UK. So.
Oh, okay.
Can I hand the torch off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I
Oh, what's
have,
the torch?
I'll
I'm
take
half
the torch.
I'm half elven, so I can see in the dark. So I will walk up, and I will. Xeethra's a fighter, right?
Yeah, 50%.
Fight a mage. Fight a
Right.
mage.
Xeethra, you're coming with me. We walk around the corner, and I put them to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'll
And then
sing
we
a
can
lot of
decide what to do with them later. But we'll see how many we get to sleep.
Yep. Okay, so you'll come to the tunnel where you'll see there is a glow at the end of it, which Wilsp have told you about. So you're going to go into the tunnel, are you? So you can kind of get a proper view of them? Because as you're going to go, that's what Wilsp did, was kind of
Yeah,
peek around.
we're close enough so I can see their group.
Yep. Yeah, you can see. You'll see a similar amount. You'll see it. It is like I say. They're slightly lit. It's dimly lit, but it is lit. You'll see, a dozen of these or whatever creatures. Most of them small, kind of small to small, very small. There's a few very small ones holding on to the backs of some of the bigger ones and stuff when they move around. They pull themselves around on their arms. Sometimes they kind of are. They've got opposable thumbs. They kind of sometimes messing around with some of the equipment they've got. You'll occasionally hear like one of them will bang some metal or look at something. You can see a couple of piles of metal mesh or something. You'll probably notice there's like literally one short. It's kind of functionally like almost makes you think of a very short spear, but in fact it's probably an implement for pinning things. Like it's not actually quite. It doesn't have a big head, but like some sort of spiky thing, like a short spear or something. And there are a couple of there are probably 3 bigger ones who are about 2 feet tall, bigger ones walking around, and often playing with some of the smaller ones, particularly kind of babies.
How close do we have to be in order to see the group?
Probably 20 feet away or something. Do not seem to have noticed you.
Okay, I'll blow some sand into Xeethra's face and put them all to sleep.
Yeah, you don't target Xeethra, you just do it to be obnoxious.
I dramatically blow some sand in the air and spell.
Yeah, I pull on your ears as revenge, a typical elf tactic.
So, roll 2d4, I guess.
Come on. 4. Could have been better. Right in the middle.
So I think probably means 4 doesn't go down. Let me just check by comparison.
I'm guessing the little ones are probably fractions of HD.
Yeah.
So that's 2d4 hit
Because they're
dice.
children. Yes. Tiny. Harmless children.
Innocent. Yeah.
We're just innocent children.
I've never encountered such a thing as an innocent child.
So least hit dice that are affected first is relevant for the target. Your as and your point speech. So probably like for 4 children and a couple of the larger ones will fall asleep.
Sorry, what was that?
So for the 4 babies and 2 mature ones will fall asleep.
So there's two 2-foot tall ones still awake?
I don't know which adults will asleep. That's
I think you said there were 4 big ones total. So if 2 of them went to sleep,
there were 3 big ones. No, there are 10 adults and 4 children, and 2 of those adults have gone to sleep. So let's check. Who went to sleep? 1 big one. One of the very big ones and one of the medium-sized ones. So there are 2 bigger ones left, plus 6 medium-sized ones, and they are beginning to be within the next at the end of that minute. That's a surprise round functioning. They notice that the babies have fallen asleep, and kind of look a bit surprised and start to kind of pat the babies and try to wake them. They're not at the point of slapping yet. They're just moving them and trying to work out what's going on.
Flashbacks to the Lion King.
Yeah.
I guess, should we call back to Wilsp? And
yes.
To come forward, and then maybe, at that point they'll know we're here. But yeah, just like, I'm not going to be armed. So I think
we'll have to tie them all up with one piece of rope, like in a cartoon where you somehow tie up 20 people with just one rope.
Well, I don't want to step into the middle of the throng because there's still 8 adults.
Yeah.
So I would rather just let them know I'm here and have my hands out, calm down, everyone. We're here, but I want to seem. Yeah, I'll just.
We're only here to kidnap your children, apparently.
Yeah. I'll say, calm down, everyone. Can anyone understand me?
Do you speak English?
Do you speak?
What's English? My spacefaring friend.
And if they don't respond, I will repeat it louder and slower.
Parlez-vous anglais?
Yeah, no, you can certainly step forward into the room and attempt to talk to them.
I'll make a gesture to Xeethra, get here.
Yeah, and then Xeethra will try speaking Gnome and then Halfling instead.
Mm-hmm.
See if that helps.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely whistle for the dog to get up here.
Rufus. This might be the first time I've ever actually used languages as something that might be useful.
No, you step forward. Let's reaction check them as they are. I mean, probably.
Xeethra, what's your charisma? Because mine is just normal.
Does Xeethra have any charisma?
Xeethra has 12 charisma.
That's +0. You're both +0.
Yeah.
They will probably react with. They react with some fear and trepidation as you enter the room. They will. I presume you'll be able to successfully wake up the babies at least, because you don't actually have to like smash someone in the face to wake them up. Slapping or wounding awakens affects creatures, but normal noise does not. Awakening requires one entire round. So they're probably focusing on, because they're worried and distressed, on the waking up the babies. And whilst the two remaining bigger ones, one of them picks up the kind of the hook, like the stabbing instrument, and is kind of interposes itself and yells at you, and the other one listens and probably repeats back some words in Gnomish to you. That was Xeethra speaking Gnomish.
Can I recognise the words?
It's. I assume if you're saying hello, it will probably say hello in Gnomish. They will be with a lot of kind of some screeches and some chatterings.
Yes.
And interposing itself between you and the rest of the creatures.
Yeah, Xeethra, with a few cheeky little screeches scattered in, asks how they got these illicit goods and if they have a license for them, and what they're doing here on private commercial property, and if they have anything to do with the recent thefts.
Oi, mate, do you have a license for that?
We're definitely the bad guys.
Yeah.
I tell them they're squatters and this is illegal.
Yeah, Jackson's like, I came to explore the stars, make my wealth. Here I am, sending children to space. Yeah. This is how the Empire started, guys.
I cannot believe that actually worked, speaking Gnomish, though. I thought this was just going to be a useless attempt.
I'm not sure that it understands very much. They'll probably wake up the remaining adults now, as the conversation continues, and they're carrying. You can see them climbing. You can see that it looks like there may be like another exit further up in this room. They're not kind of running away to it, but they're kind of climbing onto some pipes. You can see that the glow is coming from a pipe that they have opened, and warm gases which have some phosphorus, kind of some luminous value, are coming out.
Okay. I pull out my sword and tell them to stop right there, or they're being taken prisoner, and they shouldn't move.
Probably the reaction to you talking about, like, do you have permission to be here, is probably they'll just be a bit confused. Probably you might understand the Gnomish word home. Probably be the only thing they'd say.
Yeah. Our territory. You, our prisoner. No go. They come with us.
I mean, I think probably based on their actions, they'll stay. They won't run away. They'll kind of cower up on the wall and stuff where some of them have moved. The bigger ones have interposed themselves.
Do they appear to be? Do they have like food out? Have they been eating here?
You will see that. There is. There are a few things, like there are some stones of fruit and stuff like that. Like there's some nectarine stones in a corner or something.
Because like I could try and play good cop here and dig through one of my rations and take out maybe like a piece of dried fruit or something. Use one of my rations and sort of step forward, holding it out to one of them.
Yeah, you can do that.
I don't speak Gnomish, so I can't really communicate to him, but I can at least like non-threateningly hold out some food. And then my dog and eats them. So
it kind of cowers back from you. It doesn't kind of attack or anything, just cowers back, looking and sniffing at the food like a bit worriedly.
Why are we feeding?
Because we're trying to talk to them. We want them to talk to us.
Yeah. Do we still have that in the rope?
We don't need to mess them all.
Yeah. I was going to ask Thumb. Yeah, I guess Thumb. What are you doing at the moment? It sounds like Jackson and Wilsp are in the corridor or something.
I will
Apparently, the angel and demon on the shoulder.
I will come out and join them.
Yeah.
And just wing a Greek fire. No.
I spoke Greek fire on them. What?
Now that we have them, we were just trying to get them trapped in a corner so that we could douse them all at the same time.
Yeah, it's much possible that way.
I will also chuck a ration to them in a friendly manner and try to look at friendly and approachable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably if you're throwing a ration to them, one of them, like a smaller, mature, like a smaller adult would have all jump forward and grab it and then jump back.
Nice.
What is Bentusi? Is that who you're playing?
No, that's his dark son.
No, Bentusi's dark son. He's on a different world and probably dead.
I'm going to tell them that they're going to a country farm far away from here.
Be like, oh, you take his ration. I see how it is.
And everything will be okay.
We're going to take you to a farm upstate. Everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure they don't know the Gnomish words for farm and upstate. In terms of going, I think they'll probably express again the idea that this is their home. They don't really understand. Like you don't get the you get the sense you're talking to creatures of real but limited intelligence. Like they're very much above animal intelligence, but
Many times. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, this is literally like when we think of an asteroid, it's just a rock, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, we haven't seen any like natural. We haven't seen any like plants or anything else here.
Yeah, that's right. You've probably seen people selling mushrooms and decorative mushrooms and things like that.
So these people couldn't possibly have been here before the dwarves came, because there'd be nothing to live on.
That is correct.
So how did they get here?
Who came with the dwarves?
On some ship hull or something.
Yeah, like the rats aboard the ship that brought the plague.
Oh,
Xeethra's just like, can we please kill everyone?
Small
I wanted
children
them
were
all.
going away on a ship because they were hungry and terrified.
Yeah.
So
So,
if they came here,
conclusion,
then we can
we
leave.
got
They
rid
can
of the
leave.
rats to get rid of the fleas. Therefore, we got to get rid of the dwarves to get rid of these creatures, right?
That's the environmentalist approach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Elven
if we go-
environmentalists
let's go
kill everyone.
and we import some sort of terrifying predator who will prey on these creatures.
I think we are the terrifying predator.
Yeah, the dwarves already did that.
Oh,
Now, I think the last benevolent option we have for them is trying to figure out if they ever lived on a planet and figuring out what kind of planet and then dropping them off on a planet.
Well, somewhere with, they eat fruit, so...
They're not going to know that.
Well,
they must have
yeah.
come from somewhere originally.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
but they won't know.
more of an appropriate biosphere.
Do they think this is their home?
Ask
They're not
them,
gonna know.
about like, do you know what grass is? Do you know what trees are? Do you know what the sun is? Do you know what,
How long have you lived here?
Yeah, it's like when I'm talking to computer science students. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex.
No, it's got, I'm not. How dare you? I'm not a computer science student.
I'm sorry.
You're somehow both cooler and lamer in your subject choice.
ironically bring this up because actually our outdoor society, a lot of the students are computer science students.
Didn't we discuss? Didn't we, Alex? Did we discuss this? Is it that you like? It just sounds like you have an outdoor and an indoor society. Or whatever activities do you have to be one of those? Are you indoor or outdoor?
Well, technically it was the walking society, and then they merged with the society for like bushcraft and making them sticks and stuff. Because no one went
the stick society. Yeah. Outdoor craft is great. To be clear, scouting is cool. But I can see why the stick society was a bad sell at university.
Yeah, I mean, making my own bow and arrow as a kid, that was where the interest in D&D really started.
Yeah. For me, it was how many dungeons I was thrown into.
I actually just grew up in one. I wasn't thrown into many different ones.
yeah. No, for me, it's I grew up in the D&D version of Helldivers.
Yeah. The bushcraft was actually after I escaped.
Yeah, that was an adult interest. Yeah, great. So I think one of the bigger ones will be say like something like the sun is far away or something, or you can fly to the sun.
See, they're people. Why can we tell them that we could try to fly them back to the sun?
Have you heard the story of
Just start battering and be like,
not into the sun, but like back to their sun, or a better sun, with less dwarves and no natural predators, so they can overrun the ecosphere in minutes.
This is elven environmentalism again, isn't it? I know. Jackson is not an elf. Like, just introduce them somewhere where there's no natural predators, and that'll probably work out fine. I mean, yes. They'll probably say that the dwarves have food. This place Homer has food. Dwarves have
but they
food.
have sent us to exterminate you.
We don't want to do that.
It doesn't mean that.
They're hiring people to do that.
You guys are being too nice. You need to point out to them that their choices are let us take you away from here or die.
Yeah. Essentially, your options are.
They definitely don't know what the word is.
Understand my speech or not?
We are here to cleanse you.
You come with us or you die.
Yeah.
Please.
Come with you. We want to live. Terminator.
Yes.
We'll take them somewhere they can live peacefully.
Let's check how they feel about this. I mean, they're scared. But if you're saying you'll take them somewhere with food, like another place with food, then they will come. There are like 6 of you, including a dog, which probably they're quite worried about. There's like an Alsatian in this that's kind of crept through the tunnel into this room with them. I think they will pick up kind of the larger ones will pick up some of these mesh nets or whatever they are, and they'll say they'll come. They'll say we'll follow to go to a new place with food, but they're not like they're not, as it were, surrendering. They're just saying they'll follow you, come with you.
That's good enough.
Right, shall the 2 of us be the back markers and then the rest of the group lead at the front, back where we came then?
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah. And then I guess we'll come back after we've got rid of them and see all their stuff.
Well, led them elsewhere.
Yeah. I got rid of them is a vague enough phrase.
Yes, that's why we don't like it.
It doesn't have to be murder.
Don't say the word. Don't say the word murder.
We don't have to butcher them all and eat their children.
It's just like
Alex,
running his finger along the edge of his dagger.
Digging the hole.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Once we have taken care of them.
Yeah.
We make them disappear.
Yeah. I mean, they'll follow you back through when you get to the kind of the probably pretty much as soon as you start passing the active workshops that the last bit before the heat expulsion systems that you've worked your way into, dwarves will start paying attention and mostly speaking in dwarvish will look at these creatures with surprise and kind of be talking to themselves as you pass, going back up towards the docks.
Yeah.
Yes.
We take them straight to our ship. We'll ask, I guess, Jackson, maybe someone else. Keep an eye on them. And then
Can I be playing a flute while we're doing this?
Yep.
You have a flute?
No, unfortunately.
You need to play an oboe and build a mission for them, and then the Spanish are going to come and kill them.
Sounds legit.
Is this also a reference to Zulu?
No.
Probably.
You should watch Zulu and then you'll know the Zulu references.
Yeah, every reference Alex doesn't get is now to Zulu.
Well,
you make a reference.
Every reference you make must be.
May the force be with you, as they say in the film Zulu.
Yeah, I think that's what Michael Caine's character says. May the force be with you.
Zulu.
Yeah, Khan, that's like a Zulu name, isn't it?
I've seen Zulu loads of times. Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson,
Killer,
Blue Steel. Yeah.
Zululander?
Yes, that's
Yeah, it was the cancelled sequel that they realised would be too offensive.
Yeah.
I will be willing to stay if Jackson is not comfortable. I can stay on the ship with him.
Well, it's up to Andrew, as he's temporarily running Jackson. So, but you can both stay if you like. Probably. Yeah, what are you going to say, Andrew?
I was just going to say they seem pretty harmless, so I don't mind guarding them by myself. It's up to you, really.
Well, I don't think you should be by yourself.
Yeah, I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about some sort of dwarven militia showing up and being like, "Hey, wait a second."
I think there'll be like a umbrella build for
here.
these creatures.
This is our Gabriel Zobo reference again. No, probably as you go to find the head of the militia. That's the point. Your reward is going to be 100 GP and an introduction to the general. So not the actual literal head of the militia. You're not meeting him, but the head of the dockside militia. You'll actually see him coming out of the barracks slash Clinky towards you as you turn up, and he looks at you and he's like, you. So we're saying Bill and Jackson are not there, so the other three of you are, and the dog, I guess. And he'll say, you. I heard you. What are the rumors true?
That we found your vermin, and instead of killing them, we led them through the town and onto our ship.
And he just says, thank Moradin. That's cool. So you didn't kill any of them?
Not yet.
Somehow no.
No?
It's weird.
Why would we? They had adorable tiny children.
I'm about to wake up any moment, I'm sure.
Yeah. He's just looking between you like they're Chattua. Right? I heard they're Chattua.
What other?
Yes.
What is that?
Chattua?
Yeah, another Zulu.
I've heard that, yes.
Yeah. They're basically a little 2 foot tall sentient gibbon people. Very big, or lemurs or something. But yeah, he'll say he says he doesn't himself hold to these superstitions. But he says most sailors and a lot of the dwarves, these are sailing dwarves, these are space dwarves, would be very upset to kill the Lucky Charm. They're seen as lucky for a ship to have on them.
Oh.
Well, until you get your stuff, Nick, I guess. But yeah.
Do you want them back?
He says, I think, how many were there? I mean, if there's 100, we probably can't have 100.
Like a dozen?
Well, they belong to us now.
Xeethra's trying to sell them.
Yeah,
There are
do you
lucky
want to buy
times.
them back?
Yeah. Also, it should be tariff free.
People
To
because they're
clarify.
people.
What was that, Andrew?
I said we can't sell them because they're still people.
Yeah.
I'm going to say they're too short to be people, but that would not be the right thing to say.
Yeah, Will's looked up at you with fury.
We're not selling
From
them,
your
we're
need.
selling the right to host them.
Yeah.
That's
The custody.
You don't own the
very-
software. You buy a license to use the software.
a very lawyer answer.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I mean, certainly they'll say that if if they're still here, if they're still on the ship, as they're still on the Citadel, then he's sure they could be accommodated, and maybe, and they can, knowing that they're there, they can provide. He says you probably need to. They can't just nick all our stuff though, but we can probably feed them.
Well, you're gonna have to decide where they go if you want to stop them from nicking your stuff.
Do you keep them as household pets?
Yeah, he says. My impression. I'm not sure if they are necessarily really like. He says. I think they're clever, aren't they? They're sort of the same intelligence as humans or something. He says.
They didn't seem.
Oh, I think they're a bit more like like a dwarf actually, or maybe below that.
He says, well, because they're short. Okay, he just kind of, in a very literal sense, is just like, okay, well, a bit weird. But yeah, he'll kind of come and you'll find Jackson and Vil will notice that people have started to drift slowly towards the ship, but not in any armed or angry lynch mobby way. Just like they're like looking curiously on the ship. Some of whom you're fairly sure actually, if are dwarves all the way back from the workshops. Like maybe they've quietly followed you. Yeah, you've got, as I say, there's 10 adults and 4 kids with you. But yes, what do you want to say to the chatter, or what do you want to say to the dwarves when you're back there?
Well,
we can't house them for indefinitely. We'd be putting them somewhere.
yeah, I mean, I think letting them stay is probably better for us, because that saves us the effort of having to find a planet for them. But we should see how much we can profit off of this.
Profit off of these people.
If a dwarf think it's a lucky charm, then, they'll be happy to pay. And if these people are being, they're going to presumably get, an actual home and an actual, education and quality of life and everything, rather than just living in the sewers.
Education and quality of life. That's a bit optimistic, I think.
On the dwarven settlement? What are you talking about?
No, keep them as pets.
They're not pets, they're actually intelligent.
I know, but they're going to be kept as pets
Why?
by the dwarves.
Why do you think that?
Because they view them as lucky charms.
And?
Yeah, I mean, firstly,
in some
clarify.
cultures, red hair is a lucky charm. You'd feel better for having someone with red hair on your shit.
And that's why you keep red hair people slaves, I guess.
Yeah.
They should be paying to even look at them, and then they have to pay also to buy them.
I mean, yeah, in the short term, that's what I was thinking. There's this interested crowd, we could certainly.
If only we had some cages.
There's one thing I learned from D&D from watching Acquisitions Incorporated podcasts when I was young.
What, when there's a crowd to charge them money?
Yeah, D&D is a business, not for the company, but for the party, the player characters.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think the head of the dockside militia will probably, if catching any of this, will be like, yeah. He says, "Look, I don't know what you elves do, and whether this had anything to do with those abominable Skro taking over your planet, but we don't trade people here. Slavery is illegal."
As it should be.
What counts as a person?
What's wrong with you?
I tell you one thing.
Define your terms.
Tinker gnomes do not count as people for the purposes of slavery laws. I checked.
Are you looking for loopholes specifically?
Well, no, it's just if you go through all the effort of making a mechanical person, it would suck if you couldn't sell it.
That's a good point.
Auto gnomes, not tinker gnomes.
sorry,
You literally said
that's the Warcraft one.
tinker gnomes don't count as people.
Yeah.
Says the tinker gnome. We're not people.
Auto gnomes. Yeah.
I was very confused why you were insisting on that, Alex.
Yeah. I could be sold as a slave. Oh, okay.
There's an auto gnome who came back in time recently who looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, come with me if you want to live.
They're going to rebel against their masters. Put us all
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Uh,
It's called Cognet.
yeah,
So,
down with the thinking machines. The Butlerian jihad must commence, brothers.
Yeah, this is a real arc of this campaign. It's not going to be like, oh, are we going to become rich? Are we going to fight Skrull? Or are we going to explore the universe?
Yeah.
It's just a war against auto gnomes, pursuing them across the galaxy.
Clean oil across the galaxy. Do away with the computers and make up for it with drugs.
Now you're talking.
So again, elven conservationists.
Yes.
I think how we should proceed here is we should ask the militia captain. Presumably he has political contacts higher up, so ask him to find someone higher up who can, deal with this. And in the meantime, we start charging the crowd money to come and meet the little guys. I've already got my name.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
Like how big is the crowd?
I mean, there's probably like a dozen people in this at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Can we rent like an ice cream van or something?
Don't know if they have such things here. We are on a rock in the middle of nowhere.
Ice does
What is
tend
ice
to connect
cream?
though on like comets and stuff, right? I feel like it could be quite lucrative. But
Yeah, potentially.
One second,
Okay.
I'll be right back.
is there anywhere on the Rock of Brawl that would be good for them,
Yeah,
other than the catacombs?
I
That's
feel
the
like
palace.
the Rock of
Palace.
Brawl would be worse because yes, you're all elves, most of your elves, and you hate dwarves, but do you really think dwarves aren't going to deal with people like the what are the slaves called? The chain men.
Chain men.
Chain men. Yeah, they need like a world. Like they need a.
Brandy boys would take good care of them.
No, the Brandy Boys would like.
The Brandy Boys would
put them
accidentally
on a
sit
slide
on
or
them.
something. Yeah. They make a drinking game out of them somehow.
These factions really just sound like gay boy bands, don't they?
We turn up to the next party to find one of them being like thrown around like a beach ball.
I'm sure I'd love it. I don't know what planets we know about. Do we have like a map of the local system or something?
We do. It's not on.
Yeah, they're all.
And how much does it cost to go to it and land? Like we...
Well, we could just sneak down to Spiral and hope the Skrull don't notice. I'm sure that'd work out fine.
We'll
Yeah.
call that Plan F.
Sounds
To fail.
not great. Is Spiral the only actual? No, there's also a planet called Flicker.
Yeah, there's a few planets.
Flicker it is, I guess.
Or we could just leave them there. Like, why do we want to do any more work? We've been paid. There's a potential opportunity to get a little bit more money.
The dwarves have
Well,
said
I mean,
we'll keep them here.
we can leave them. I'm all for leaving them here as long as we know that the doors aren't going to like mistreat them.
Yeah, so
But-
we organise, we get the militia captain to organise a meeting with someone higher up. We get that person higher up to take responsibility, make some promises, swear it by Moradin or something. And once we're satisfied, we leave.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. I just don't want these things turned into like.
Kebabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to let these biases go. They're just dwarves.
Well, anti-kebab biases.
No, anti-dwarf.
Yeah, just because they're dwarves doesn't mean they eat Xeethra.
This is the kind of things humans would do. You know?
Yeah, and humans we can stereotype.
Yeah.
Racist.
Bloody humans.
Well, humans
God.
have so much variation in them. There's definitely you could think of any behaviour and there'll be at least one human that's done it.
Oh, don't listen to that nonsense, says Xeethra. They're all the same to ourselves.
No two humans are alike.
They're all debased in their own exceptional way.
You could ask 10 humans a question and you'd get 12 answers.
Well, as Aristotle said, vice is infinite, virtue is singular.
Is Aristotle an elven philosopher?
Yes.
I mean, there is that place in what was it called that we went to in the Planescape game that had all the philosophers.
I know what you mean, but now as soon as you've said that, I've forgotten the name.
I mean, that makes sense.
It was like ancient Greece, but
Yeah,
in Planescape.
Yeah.
and full of jerks.
I
Is
think I
that
remember
Bitopia you're thinking of, or is that a different adventure?
Hello.
Hello.
No.
Olympus.
Oh,
The place with the
Acadia,
philosophers in
I mean, that's just the whole setting, really, in Planescape, isn't it?
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Hello. So, yeah. What? Sorry, I'm back. What's the plan?
So, for actually dealing with these guys, we're gonna try and get in contact with someone with actual power, and get them to make some promises that they'll take care of these guys and not use them as pets. You know, I think we'd be happy to hear that they'll be taken care of, educated, and so on.
Andrew, how does Jackson feel that everyone's gone from we should slaughter them to we need to make sure they're educated?
We also need to make sure their native language isn't erased, even if they have to learn the Dwarven language, guys.
Do they have a culture?
Of course they have a... How could you say that? How could you even, just...
Their culture appeared to have been living in the sewers, you know?
Yeah, well,
that's
culture means different things to different people.
So, I mean...
I'll just say that.
Yeah, the militia captain can say that obviously he's planning to... You're going to have an instruction furnished to Roth Granite Mason, the general of the Diamondhammer Strike army. Anyway, so if you just want to wait, he says, given you've removed them, I can say that you did the job and that you want to meet, and you probably meet with them.
Yeah, I mean, is he the best person you think for this, or is there someone more, civil who might be better suited?
Well, he'd probably say, obviously there's the king, but
that seems a little bit higher. I don't know how lucky are they?
Well, yeah.
If you have one and then two, is it 2 is twice as lucky as having 1 and so on?
Yeah, so if you have 14, you have 14 times the luck.
Right.
Mechanical effect is 0, so 14 times 0 is...
Yeah. So could we give them to the king and then he happens to give us a generous donation or, a large price of money for a very poorly done piece of art soon afterwards.
Yeah.
After he receives these creatures. Right.
But before we give them away, we need to go gamble with some dwarves. Whilst we have the luck.
No, slavery's illegal, but what if what if there's some kind of dowry thing we could do?
Well,
or marry the king.
We already know that the king takes responsibility for orphans, right? So it wouldn't be that much different to make them, wards of the king.
Yeah.
They were intelligent creatures living on his rock, who were clearly not being cared for properly because they were living in the pipes.
Yeah. Or if we adopt them and then they all marry the king and then the king gives us money as a wedding gift and then we leave with the money.
I don't think the king needs a legal excuse to pay us. We could just say, we want these people to be taken care of properly and, as a dwarf of honor and blah blah blah.
Well, let's just sell them as slaves if he doesn't care about that.
What?
What?
Caesar's like, who said that? Oh.
What?
Every time Xeethra says something like this, yeah, he throws his voice so it sounds like Thumb says these things.
Yeah. Why did that dwarf sound like an elf?
Yeah. I think we should sell them as slaves. What?
How hard would it actually be to talk to the king about this?
I mean, yeah, the militia captain will go and say he'll go and talk to General Granite Mason, and see what he can do. I guess that's probably what.
I guess
the best thing to do.
We could suggest this idea to the general, and then the general can suggest it to the king.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want him to suggest, as in to pass on a message via the captain, then he can just take the whole message. Then, and he'll come back. He says he'll be back at some point, this afternoon or something. Are you doing anything in the interim, or are you just stopping the crowd from stealing your ship? I don't know.
I mean, I think we definitely want to avoid, frightening them with a crowd of dwarves. But I feel like Wilsp, despite not having anything in gaming or anything, would scientifically test the hypothesis that these make you lucky. They're on our ship. Yeah. So I will happily, play some dice or something against dwarves.
Wait! Do not gamble away the 100 gold that we were paid.
He's literally going to bet 100 gold. He's literally going to bet the 90 gold left over after having spent stuff on equipment.
Don't just go and put 100 on black and let it ride.
Just petty bets, but just for the sake of testing this hypothesis that having one of these on your ship makes you happy.
I mean, I've heard that 99% of gambling addicts actually quit just before they hit big, so I think it's worth it.
It's a good thing we're not addicted then.
Who are we splitting? How much gold do we all get? My question.
You're currently in profit to the tune of 90, I think is the point.
Oh.
Because you're going to get 100.
At some point, we should go back and collect all the stuff they nicked. Probably when people aren't looking.
Yeah, should we have some of us go do that now, perhaps, while we sort other things out?
Well, I mean, if we've got a crowd of dwarves outside our ship, I think people will notice we don't have a bag full of swag.
Just don't write swag on the bag.
It's a plain.
Yeah, just get rid of that very large dollar sign that's on the mask on your face and the beret.
Yeah. Jackson, why are you
little red necktie? So it's going to be a red necktie.
Well, maybe you just need to pretend to be chatters. You just need to pretend to be chatters, put on the Hamburglar mask and pretend to be a little raccoon man.
Does anyone have a fursuit we could borrow?
That's a ban. That is a ban from the game and from life. People are coming to remove you from life.
Rude.
I mean, have we got those Yeti corpses still from that previous section? We follow them out.
Tauntaun style.
Yeah. It's like skinwalkers, but it's fur walkers instead.
That's just a furry.
That's a banner.
Okay, just to clarify, furries. I don't know much about the stuff, but I assume they're not wearing actual dead animals. I know they get bad rep.
I would not bet on anything. Anyway.
How many bad?
So yeah, late in the afternoon, a larger crowd will be gathering. You realise, as a party of armed and uniformed dwarves march towards the ship. And a kind of crowd is gathering down up from the workshops and from the dockside.
I fire the ballista at them.
No,
shoot the ballista. No.
You idiot!
I've already declared it.
For large crowds.
Now you start telling entry.
Presentable as quickly as possible.
Why is there a large crowd of armed men coming to my ship?
Yeah, Jackson's like, guys, this wasn't the plan. Yeah.
We seem to be being ordered.
You at the bottom of the gangplank, the group will stop and part, kind of smartly part into two files, and two dwarves will step forward. One is heavily armored, like he is in kind of highly rune-engraved plate, and the other is wearing a large cloak, like a heavy cloak, and has a helmet on, but the helmet is gold with a kind of circlet crown on it. And the bit heavily armored guy with with a very nice armor will bang the haft of his axe on the gangplank, heading up to the star sail and ask for permission to come aboard.
Is that our gangplank, just to clarify, or is it like the...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this
That's
is
rude.
the militia captain. But no. Yeah, okay, I genuinely thought was concerned this was a mob. But
I go, oh yeah, just sounded that.
So, yeah.
Jackson counts as captain here.
I guess?
Unless you want to appoint another character. I mean, yeah, the crew is Jackson and Thumb, I think, technically. The Thumb is the armourer, isn't he? He hires the ballista.
Yeah, is this the does this look like the general?
The guy who's banging on the gangplank looks like a guy in heavily rune-engraved plate armour.
Yeah, well, Jackson, introduce yourself.
Bill shoves Jackson forward. I say Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones is probably on the deck at this point as well, because that's where he's been hanging out. Dr. Jones has seen all this, and Dr. Jones has probably started to make offensive comments about how you could sew bits of these creatures onto other people and give these creatures human arms. Things
Dr.
like
Jones,
that.
don't introduce yourself. Don't say anything.
You can make the creatures more intelligent.
Dr. Jones.
You can make them exactly as intelligent as humans with the right transplant surgery.
Could you transplant luck?
No, I don't have that on my medical record sheet for you.
But could we do research and find which bit of them makes them lucky and cut it out into something else?
Do you think if you're transplanting everything, then
it is a myth that people tell themselves to explain why they aren't strong enough to survive surgery?
Yeah, the Xixchil have incredibly strong views on luck for some reason. They just don't believe it exists.
Why is your body rejecting the organs? Just accept them, bro.
Did Wilsp manage to come to any conclusion with his gambling of whether they make you lucky?
Yes, I guess roll gaming, but minus a non-proficiency penalty. I guess we'll do that.
Are you telling me when I'm playing one of the gambling mini games from the DMG?
Yeah. We're gonna play an entire game of chess right now.
And non-proficiency penalty for a rogue is -3. So that'll be what, 11? It's good odds.
Oh, I see. Oh, Wilson's quite charismatic.
Yeah. So
What's your bid?
Literally just penny bets. Like you'd have been betting like I guess if
you put a gold down. Essentially, you put a gold down.
Yeah, like he's been playing this several hours, but he bets like a gold. So.
Yeah.
No.
You lose the gold, and you do not get any extra dice or anything like that.
Yeah. So Wilsp agrees. There's no such thing as luck.
Yeah. So technically, next time you do it, you must gain 1 gold, right? That's how it works.
Yeah. There's this great interview. This is completely tangential, but I recommend it. I forget which magazine it was in, but a long form interview or the thing about Norm Macdonald, but mostly about going like gambling with him, and how he just like blow at one point in his life blow massive checks that he'd got from whatever gig he'd just done. And he didn't really care because he had enough on his other stuff. But he didn't even care about winning. So it's like, no, it's the hope that gets you. It's the enjoyable thing about gambling addiction is not winning, but actually could win. He just didn't actually find winning particularly satisfying. That wasn't the point at all, which I think is really interesting psychologically.
That makes sense. I mean, I feel like a lot of things are like that in general, actually, where you think of the good experience as being the getting it, when in fact it's actually the expecting to get it.
Yeah.
And expecting something good next because you've got.
Do you know what's not like that? Kidney transplants.
What?
No, the getting it is definitely better than the anticipation.
For the kidney transplant, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
You imagine you're just telling some guy, "Don't worry, we don't. There's not actually any kidneys on the list, but we keep telling you it just because we know you look forward to it." Imagine how confident you'd feel.
Owen, what do you mean? I have 5 kidneys inside of me. I'm always looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. You know, the plot of £7 is actually about giving Jamie extra kidneys, not about replacing his current ones.
I'm just like collecting them like General Grievous collects lightsabers.
Yeah. General
like
kidney.
killing people and taking them off them?
Yes. Obviously, that's what he just said. Great. Okay, so yeah, you will. Are you welcoming him aboard? That was not established.
Yes.
Vil very sensibly said, "Yeah, we should." I think so. Will said we should look presentable. Vil said you should welcome him aboard, and then we went off on a tangent. So, which is fine. But yeah, no. So they will come aboard, and the armored fellow will, salute. Well, I guess Jackson, if Jackson is welcoming aboard, and the King Devin, will come on and introduce himself. Will off to shake everyone's hand.
My liege.
He'll he kind of is asking. He says to Jackson, "Oh, what do you do?" And he'll say to Vil, "What do you do?" And he gets to Dr. Jones and he says, "Ah, Xixchil, lovely to see you," and pointedly moves on.
That's probably for the best.
You don't want to know.
Yeah. No, you've got to, to be an effective constitutional monarch, you've got to have some degree of nous about not getting into stupid conversations with people you talk to.
Xixchil's got to be my next password, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, so King Devon will say that certainly they'll look after these guys. If these guys want to go and live in the place they're living in, if they're living in some caves or something, they are welcome to be there. They can potentially have somewhere else. They'd live under the king's protection. I think he'd be very happy to do that. He says his people will be very pleased to have some chatter aboard. And that they could even after they finish on this citadel, the chatter could travel with them.
Nice.
Yeah,
just clarify, you're not putting them somewhere where they have a massive warren of tunnels to get lost in.
Mm-hmm. Is that good or bad?
I mean, it's good for the economy because we get paid to do the same job again. But it's really for you.
If they keep getting lost, you'll have to hire us to find them.
It's how the Dwarven government creates new jobs. Actually, it's just releasing pests. Into
It's like a Franklin Delano Roosevelt New Deal, but for dwarves.
Yeah.
Franklin Dwarfano Roosevelt.
Yeah, because you can't print more diamonds and gold, so it's the only other thing to do.
Oh yeah, he's like, they are stuck with fiat currency here. He's like, look, it's great for people's trust in the economy. We're very bad at kind of being flexible credit.
Yeah.
And goes off on a discussion with Xeethra about economics for 5 minutes.
Yes.
I guess Wilsp would say that obviously we need to actually talk with them, but our rough position is that no intelligent people should be living in tunnels underneath the Dwarf's citadel unless they really, really want to and understand what they're doing. And these people don't seem educated and deserve to live to the best of their capabilities. Obviously, talk with them and figure out what they want as well. But
the general, so Roth Granite Mason, the general will laugh and says, "Well, I mean, all the dwarves live in caves underneath the dwarf citadel."
Well, yeah, but you know what you're doing. You chose to.
Yes,
you're not just, you're not stealing from the people who live above and, remembering a future time when you lived on a surface and there was sunlight and food aplenty, you know.
I think the concern is that we don't want them living as scavengers beneath someone else's home, rather than they shouldn't be living
We want them to live
where
with
dwarves
pride.
live.
Like dwarves are proud of their citadels. We want them to have the same pride in their home.
Yeah, I mean, he says. I think that the king will be trying out Dwarven, speaking Dwarvish to these creatures, who will answer back in broken Dwarvish, like while you're talking to the, I guess the general's when he's just engaged on that point. And yeah, you know, they'll say. He says, the king will say, on my word, will ensure they are comfortable and safe, and they will be able to share in the garrison's rations. Which is what they're currently eating anyway. So,
how do you stop crime? Just make it legal.
Yeah. Yeah. Theft of tools has gone down 100%. Lending tools to the Chateau has gone up as part of a work creation scheme. It's a bit like double entry accounting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the Renaissance, that is. Yeah, great. So yeah, I mean, they'll be happy to certainly take them forward. I mean, yeah, happy one to pay you the 100 GP. Two, the general is happy to meet with you at more length. I think he can talk with you now if there is anything, as in he was the contact you were promised helping out, and he's like, well, I'm here now, so I might as well. Yeah.
You guys wanted to talk to the general?
Yeah, I guess we'll kind of explain our nature as three agents who have a ship that can quite easily fly around spiral space, brow space. I guess that's what we call it.
And as you can already see, we're not just unrepentant murderers.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have very many dangers, such as blind players, catacombs, fishing, and worst of all, love.
Yeah, we are free agents happy to kill things for money, basically.
Yeah. Not like free in the sense that you don't have to pay us, but like in the sense that we can go.
We're expensive agents.
Or same thing for money, if that's what you'd prefer.
Yeah.
Just so he doesn't misunderstand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he'll say, Ross will. Certainly say that he's always interested in anyone. He'll probably talk to aim this particularly at the two elves. He'll recognise that Bill is a half elf, but I think I'm probably a bit confused by the fact that Bill is like purple skinned or something. Probably I'd say if the other two are actually from Spiral, they are just as a canonical point, I guess. They'll be aware that Drow exist. They'll know the kind of the people's legends, but they probably won't have had any contact with them, and won't know anyone who's ever had contact with Drow. If they're from
like
Spiral,
Spelljammer.
No one has ever met any.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to count them out. But yeah, I'd say also you don't need to be from Spiral. There are a couple of other big elven colonies. But the point is, if you're from this system, then you won't be like, oh yes, the Drow are the evil elves under the earth. You'll be like, oh yeah, they are the ancient split-off people who went with the fallen goddess, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm just not. My family was not sort of part of the larger Drow community. I think.
Yeah.
I was born. We were part of the normal elven empire. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the Elven Empire, like the Elven Space Empire, is very big. There's lots of corners to it, people. So you wouldn't necessarily have any view or impression here. And neither does the general. But he'll say to the elves that certainly, though they are technically they're not at war with the Scroll of Spiral, certainly he and his clan would. We're certainly any war that does come, they'll rejoice in joining. But while they're at peace, obedient to the king and obedient to partly even though they're not necessarily big fans of Prince Andrew of Brawl, they'll be like, he's a piece for them. But he says certainly if there are people who would like to fight the Scrow, and as I say, he would recommend particularly the 2 elves, then we could try and work for you.
Yeah. How much for us to get rid of them?
All of them. Like he's like 8 gold.
Oh man.
Yeah, at least 15. Yeah, bargain up to 15 gold for the elimination of the Scrow as a political force.
At least 15. He said at least, guys. So
How much for the total destruction of Spiral?
Yeah. If we just destroy the entire planet.
Yeah, we'll just blow it up.
He'd certainly say. He says, he will, like a good NPC, ignore the insane things the player characters say, and he'll say certainly the liberation of Spiral is much to be desired, because there are dwarves on Spiral, obviously now enslaved or in hiding, as well as humans and gnomes.
Waiting to be liberated by
Yeah.
The giant stone hammer that we see on the screen here when the asteroid city collides with the spire. Yeah.
I was going to say, he'd certainly say, he'd be very happy to one day take lead the dwarven citadels out to war. But he says, there's good. He does say, I understand there's good reasons to stay at peace for now. We bide our time. We strengthen ourselves. We're not. This one thing is that he will say, there are like tens of thousands of Scrow, and there are a few thousand dwarves total at Diamondhammer State. Clan Deep Delve has a similar number. Brawl has a bit more. He's just like, we're outnumbered.
That's fair.
And
do you want help rearming? Is there anywhere we can uncover some really dangerous weapons of mass destruction that would be suitable for
Yeah.
I would be more than happy to rearm your soldiers.
He'll say he'll look at the Xixchil and say, is that a pun?
And a promise.
Yeah.
He's more armed than Earth, I say. Looking at 6 limbs.
But yeah, I mean, he'll certainly say that he can, though he can't literally give you a letter of marque because we're not at war. Otherwise that'd be going to war with the Scrow. He could probably, apart from he'll have heard of the goblinoids on Shipwrecker, so he'd certainly say that sort of thing, which he'll then gather them up. BS say probably if you want to do some gun running, taking stuff out like dwarven craft out to Iron Piece, the big gnomish like Discworld.
Sounds pretty good.
That'd be a job he could probably pay you for. Certainly, also he will set like a flat bounty of something like he'll pay you 5 gold per Scrow, Goblin, Kobold, whatever head that you bring back. That he says that's not that is his clan. That is not a political decision. That is not a thing on behalf of the army. That is just he will personally pay you.
Yeah. Are there any
each combatant? He'll kind of grumble, say each combatant goblinoid. Don't want you messing around, spending your time murdering their sprogs.
Oh no.
We would never debate doing such a thing.
Yeah.
We wouldn't need to.
Yeah.
But isn't that how you win a long war? By making sure there aren't any soldiers in the future?
They do say children are the future, so if you don't have children, there is no future.
Of course not. You
This
should
is
be
total
new to
war.
them like a normal person.
But yeah.
Okay, we distribute.
He basically will pay you for competency points,
so that they have less population.
In terms of, he says, in terms of where you might find them, if you're interested, I will actually, I can just skip on that's the system map. That's it. I've not yet drawn up our own system map. This kind of works for our purpose. You can see on the purple ring, Spyro is actually on the purple ring, and so sometimes places like the Gods Marbles and other places, you can sometimes find Scrow in amongst them. but also in general, yes, on this ring or going out towards the edge of the system to leave the system. They will sometimes be seen doing that. Very occasionally, they'll go further into the system towards, for instance, there is a trading port, which is a place they're allowed to trade. Apart from the small amount they do via the bar sinister, which you can see is, the closest body to the primary. It's like a smuggler's, basically an open secret, which is not really illegal, but like as a smuggler's bar, with like a dockyard and a set of things for people. Trading. So yeah, you might catch them there. But essentially, yes. He will say he doesn't expect with the ship you've got, you're going to be able to fight any scroll ships.
No. I was going to ask, like, can you recommend any, I don't know, like, texts or anything we could read to figure out how to fight ship to ship? But
we're going to need a bigger boat.
I imagine it'd be a very short text for us. It would just say, don't.
Yeah. Vil says he does actually have spelljamming training, but you need a bit more bigger, more powerful ship. I mean, he'd say, I mean, look, if you can get a hold of a bigger one, he says, given your humble state in life, possibly finding something that's a bit scrapped and bring it here, as long as it has a helm, he's sure he can arrange for it to be repaired.
Are there any places that they're fighting proxy wars with the Scrow? Like any other?
So on Shipwrecker, there are goblin tribes there which are presumed to be being armed by the Scrow.
What kind of ship would you be able to pick up?
They'd probably say,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think Shipwrecker doesn't sound like a tourist destination.
Well, I can't remember, but it was either Shipwrecker or Iron Piece, I think, was going to be our next destination, because we heard about
Shipwrecker was somewhere you were interested in Shipwrecker because the colonists were being bothered by goblin tribes in the mountains.
Yeah. And that's just like consistent work. We can just go and kill things for money.
Yeah.
And not feel morally.
Yeah, nice, easy.
I feel like some of us didn't feel morally complicated about this anyway, but
I mean, of all things, Simon was the one of those few urging some restraint. I mean, to be fair, Bill was as well.
Try lawful good character. That's what I wrote on my character sheet.
You are lawful good, yeah.
Yeah, so I have to try and do it sometimes. It doesn't come naturally.
I didn't want to kill them, to be honest.
Oh, if the doctor had been there, he'd have been suggesting God knows what. But fortunately, we had Jackson instead.
Yeah.
Together.
Jackson, yeah, he's lawful good, yeah.
Yeah. I imagine you're like one of the homunculi from like the Dark Elder Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
He probably had a better bedside manner, but that's not hard.
Well, what's his charisma?
The worst thing is the Doctor probably has like 18 charisma, doesn't he?
No, it is 8.
8. So it's not actively horrendous. It's just poor.
Yeah.
I don't think it's 8 isn't even a minus. I don't think.
About the upsell, that's his problem.
Yeah, he kind of seems normal until you talk to him for more. Like he's fine when you say hello to him, and then within a few moments you're like, wait a second, that's weird.
Until you put your glasses on.
Yeah, 8 doesn't have a reaction adjustment. It does have a loyalty penalty, a -1 loyalty penalty. It has that limit, but yeah.
I can't imagine why he would struggle to retain henchmen.
Yeah. He retains parts of henchmen. Yeah. Cool. So, anything else with the general, particularly?
I guess. I guess there is actually worth maybe not. Because we've got all these weird things we found on my place, but it's not like specifically here on Earth. But whilst we're
what does the tentacle do? Tell me. Weird things we found on mine.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah, what do you mean exactly?
Sorry, Jamie.
What do you mean by the weird things we found on Mind Flayers? Sorry.
The jar full of smoke or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, we got the pouch of black metallic cuboid lumps as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that's like
carry it wherever I go.
If that, I mean, they weren't small enough for you to carry. They were like, weren't they like 2x2?
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think if you show him, sort of like, I think those are just Mind Flayer chairs.
Oh, guys, we need to play Mind Flayer musical chairs. And then, like, when we
the person sits down and has their brain sucked out through their nose.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, and it doesn't work anyway because you're all psionically linked, so you'll just know when someone's about to stop the music.
Yeah, so everyone sits down simultaneously.
Yeah, and it's just the massive tentacles and like fluids and stuff.
Tell me more.
Dr. Jones is like, this is my kind of conversation. I'll take that. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of the potion, I'd say you need. I mean, dwarves can't really help so much with that. They can. Their master smiths can help with magic weapons and armor because they know how to make those. But yeah, say that probably potion. If it the kind of potion thing, you need to ask a specialist. If it's like a bottle full of smoke. Ask the wizard or something.
Yeah. I think for now we should have it on the ship as like a bit of a lava lamp if we hang like a torch beneath it or something. And spread the metallic cuboid lumps around as well. I think we could do some nice kind of like Art Deco, kind of new wave, Bondness kind of internal decor based on like gathering bits from Mind Flayer ships.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until it turns out they're infectious.
Yeah.
Are the chairs comfortable?
They're just like
they're kind of fine. They're not very comfortable.
IKEA or John Lewis?
It's kind of minimalist in interior design. So it's really uncomfortable. I would bet. I think it'd just be.
Yeah.
We'll just keep them in case we need to interrogate anyone. We just have them sit in the chair.
Oh, honestly, have you heard about that happened in the Spanish Civil War? They used modern art to torture people by like putting them into a cell where there was like a slightly slanted bench and like metallic like cubes on the ground and like weird shapes on the walls and stuff.
Like
this is also used by C.S. Lewis in that Hideous Strength.
Like genuinely.
Yeah,
I mean, Hideous Strength is a novel, but yeah, no, that I did read about that happening. But yeah, I don't know if it inspired Lewis in that Hideous Strength or not, but it's a very, very powerful scene in that Hideous Strength when someone is pushed into such a room.
Like, I'm not a massive modern art fan, but
well, it's supposed to be disorienting, like that combined with like all the weird geometric shapes of the wall. I mean, to be honest, I think these are like it's probably people who are like into all these newfangled ideas, like torture's bad, and actually they still need to interrogate people, and funnily enough, they don't want to commit awful crimes to them.
I mean, I would say what you're describing sounds like a terrible crime.
Yeah.
a crime against aesthetics.
So yeah, anything else you want to do with the general now?
No, if he has no degree in modern art, we're all right, I think.
No. Yeah. As he says, if you want to do a mission gun running to Iron Peace, you can arrange it via just talk to one of his officers to pass on.
Like in Lovecraft, like you do get the architecture of like the great old ones compared to modern art stuff, so it makes sense for Mind Flayers.
Pretty much. And yeah, he'll certainly say, feel free to bring back any goblin heads from Shipwrecker. So yeah, I guess that's that.
Well, can I ask you a bit about like how safe is it getting to and landing on Shipwrecker while keeping your ship unwrecked?
There is a port there. I think basically there are atmospheric conditions that you need to keep an eye on, but you can land at the at the port that is there. So you should be fine. He's just like, look, if the sky looks really weird, probably just don't go into the atmosphere.
How do we know what weird looks like if we're going to a different planet?
He says, doesn't look. Yeah, I think. Yeah, is the water streaming upwards? Yeah, just like it, I just if it looks weird, does it give you the squickies? Don't go in.
Okay, fair enough.
As the king and the general go, most of the chatter will go with them, but one pair, the big one and a medium-sized one, will not leave, and one will come up to, I guess, to Jackson and Bill and Xeethra, and will say, "New home? My new home."
Yes, we shall. But it will be many, many journeys, and you must serve on our ship until we reach this new home.
What are we going to do?
We would be happy to have you aboard.
We should send them to Shipwrecker, send them to the colonies. It always works, right, doesn't it?
Yes.
I would like to volunteer to look after them.
We come back in a year's time and it's a million.
Is that Jackson or is that Dr. Jones?
That's definitely Dr. Jones.
The bigger one will have the little kind of metal spiky javelin thing. Which is obviously some sort of, like, you suspect it's some sort of pipe cleaning instrument, where you like jab it into a pipe to try to get stuff out, but it's very sharp. So he'll say, he'll probably say, if you say you have to to thumb, he says, "Stab."
Stab we do. You will stab many on this journey.
He doesn't.
None of them us, just to clarify.
Yes, we will stab the scroll.
No
There
stabby.
is much we can learn of each other from this important cultural exchange.
Pish, stabby pish, yes.
Let's start by learning the most important thing. What is his name?
Where your organs are.
What is his name?
What is your name?
Would you like an ovipositor?
I mean, he'll probably just, if it probably wants to understand the question, will just chatter at you. He doesn't have any dwarvish or any dwarvish or gnomish words.
Give
His
him a new
name, or
name.
their names.
Name him.
His name is Chatter.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yeah.
how Wilsp has decided to translate his name. Not by making chattering noises, but just by saying chatter.
I mean, the species is called Chatterer. So,
Chatter.
So like
His
that
name is
one.
the name bubble.
Chatter the chatter.
Can we call him Squeaky?
No, his
Yeah,
name
you
is
can
Chatter. If you gave
But
Squeaky
there are
his
two-
name, then his name would be Squeak.
No,
But
there are two of them, so you can
the
have two names if you want.
What's the other one?
You can call it whatever you want.
But what's his name?
Alex, you can't just call him what his race is.
I'm not calling him
Elf
what
the
his
elf.
race is. He chattered when we asked what his name was, so his name is
No,
Chatter.
that's just how they speak.
That, so, we're just going to call him John Smith, and I don't know, I can't think of literally any of his stereotypical American names, so...
One of them will be Don Smith and the other one will be Mohammed. The two most common names.
Yeah, the only names that matter for this purpose.
Duncan, Idaho. Call it Duncan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works.
I just
If my character dies, I'll be playing a barb named Gurney Halleck next.
Shipwrecker is 2 belts away, so you'll spend a couple of days traveling there at least. It's in the red belt.
How long does the doctor have back until he's...
Is it that he has 4 days? Did we agree?
Is that taking into account double healing rate from healing and herbalism?
Yeah,
Is someone else doing that? Is someone else doing that, Tim?
Well, that doesn't...
Oh.
Does that make a difference?
It doesn't affect this anyway. But remember, you can't self-medicate, Doctor.
I can't... I mean, shouldn't is probably the word, but okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
This
You're
game's
right,
over.
we did discuss before that it doesn't actually affect the rate of recovery downtime, it's just actual healing.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I think technically you have 3 because this is like day 4 of your travels. You are once you've slept, which I guess you probably should soon. You will have 3 days left of recovery. So you might have a day downtime at Shipwrecker.
Or we could have like a few days downtime now, so that if there is an encounter, we have Dr. Jones to help during it.
Oh, while you're traveling, yeah. Yeah,
Like,
certainly can do.
Because there will be like, you know, a few dollars worth of lodgings.
Yeah, lodging and food is food and at your lodgings is cheaper than a ration. I think is the point. It's like half the price. Should I tot up the bill of all your stuff and just take it off your reward in terms of what goes in the stash?
Yeah.
Obviously, you technically have had money already. You did have some cash, so it's not like you can spend that budget. If you're having meals for 1 day is 3, there are 7 of you. That's 21 silver, and common lodging per day is 5 silver. So that would be 35 silver a day. So it's like 56 silver per day for 3 more nights. So 15 gold or something, 16 gold.
It's the first D&D game I've played in where we've paid by direct debit for the party.
Yeah. Yeah, have you make with the Banker Spiral currently in exile on Numelador or something?
Yes.
But yeah, no, that's fine. So I assume you'll do that, and then the doctor will be healthy. So we'll skip. And yeah, you won't need to worry about any encounters here because you'll just be going on to the docks. Unless you're unless you want to try to meet anyone who's flying through, or you want to do anything like that. But the point is, otherwise just rest. What were you going to say, Alex?
I had a thought, and I realized it doesn't matter. I was thinking like there's a bit of downtime now, which is presumably this would be a good place to do a little bit of the crafty thing. I was thinking, what's a little crafty thing would be useful? Oh yeah, gunpowder. But it doesn't matter because the mage is not there.
Yeah.
And
making
a gun is a longer term project.
Yeah.
Probably requires a different one.
I mean, I could potentially try making some of the like alchemy elixirs, or operating on one of the chatter.
Well, you have to rest for 3 days, thankfully, for the chatter. But when you're traveling, you could, while everyone else is doing stuff, you could try to make some elixirs on the boat, in the cabin. Yeah. Maybe you need to make a separate cabin, like a metal reinforced cabin for the doctor.
Nice and soundproofed.
Yes, and yeah.
Easy, clean plastic surfaces.
Yeah, cool. So, assuming if you want to do any specific downtime activities, put them on the Discord. We can do it that way, and I assume that we will. We'll just travel from that point by 3 days in the future, which is day 50. It'll be like day 54, I think. At that point, you'll travel to Shipwrecker, and that's what we're doing next session. That sounds good with your new chat. Your chatter will count. There's 2 of them. They will count. As I say, I'm not sure where I read this. I literally definitely read this. But that small creatures count as half for air. So the chatter are small, so they count as one number between them, essentially. Which I think, in terms of the numbers, technically, I think, yes, you're 7.5 then, so 8, which is basically the same in terms of. I think it means you have 1 month. I think it's a ton equals 8 months for one person or something.
Yeah.
A ton of shit. It's something like that. So I think basically you continue to have 1 month of travel air, and your air will be refreshed here, so you'll be fine traveling.
We can ration it if we need to. We can just be like, you 10 breaths a day, don't exceed it.
Dr. Jones like, I could operate in a way that would assist this. I'll remove one of your lungs, then you can only breathe half the time.
You going on your sneaky breathing binge? I saw you.
Yeah.
Like a greedy breather.
Yeah, it's April 2020 all over again, except now it's about breathing. If you see your neighbour breathe. Yeah. Cool. Okay then, I will end the stream.